friends. Today is a garden day. Actually, it's more of a garden story day. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I came to grow roses and really become a little obsessed. It started back in 2012. I had just graduated from college and I thought I would reward myself. And I went to the garden center. I bought 7 roses. They were all hybrid teas and floribundas. I had never grown roses before. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that I loved them. So I planted them all in a sunny spot in my backyard and I got a few blooms. They didn't look great, but I thought, well, this is just roses. Not a single one survived the winter. I was so devastated. I thought, oh my gosh, roses are just so high maintenance. They're just more than I'm willing to do, you know? And so I didn't do any more roses for a while. I kind of just did some like veg gardening and things like that for a while. Then we moved to our new house or our current house. And in 2017, I thought, I'm going to try again. I'm going to try planting a rose. This time I'm going to pick like the most hardy, the most indestructible rose I can find. So I went again to the garden center and I found one called Como Park, which we still have. And it is one of the healthiest roses in our garden. It is supposed to be 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, but every year it throws out these canes that are just like insane, like, 8 feet long. It's just so happy. And I've never moved it from that spot. It's been happy. I'm happy. And it gave me a lot of confidence. So 2 years later, with that experience under my belt, I decided to put some trellises up on the front of my house. With the help of my husband and my daughter, we put up 3 trellises and I planted 3 David Austin Tess of the D'Urbervilles. And they did great. They are beautiful. They love the spot. It's a west facing wall. They flower beautifully every year. And other than trying to poke everybody with their thorns as they walk by, I can't say a bad thing about them. And that, I think, started me on a bit of a slippery slope, if you will. So then I started, well, where else can I put trellises? I had my husband put one up on our chimney. I had this dream of growing roses from top to bottom and just, like those English mansions with just roses all over them, or cottages, I guess. Anyway, so I planted David Austin's Claire Austin, and it was a beautiful rose. It smelled awesome. It was dinky. And after, I think I gave it 4 years before I finally said, okay, this rose is just not going to do it. So I ended up digging it up, moving it somewhere else, and I replanted Iceberg a couple years ago. And I think it took about one season before it was like 15, 20 feet tall. And I have to use a ladder to get to the top to prune it and tie it to the trellis. And I'm just astounded. Anyway, it is exactly what I wanted. And I'm so pleased. I then, let's see, in 2020, I planted 2 New Dawn roses on either side of a gate trellis, gate arbor, I should say. That rose, vigorous is an understatement. It's just so happy to grow. My only complaint is that it kind of has a big huge flourish of blooms at the beginning of the season and then it doesn't really do much for the rest of the year. But really that's the only complaint I have. It's so wonderful. And I do give it a prune once a year and that's it. I then planted some more David Austin roses in front of that white fence. They're okay. I think I'll be getting rid of them. And I think I just kind of got so happy, confident. I don't know. I just thought, you know what? I can grow roses now. I'm going to have my own rose garden. So I looked to the backyard and the sunniest spot that I had, and I carved out this kind of triangular garden space. And I decided that I wanted to have like one of every color rose, and I wanted them to be all different kinds. And the most important thing to me was that they were healthy for my zone, which I'm in a zone 5, Wisconsin. So they had to be hardy to my zone, and they had to be really healthy and disease resistant, and they had to be just beautiful. Fragrance was a definite bonus. Most of my roses have some sort of fragrance, not all of them. And then last year, I expanded on the rose garden there in the backyard. And so I added about, I don't know, maybe 18 inches along one edge and planted another 7 or 8 roses there, including a climber, which is going to go up this obelisk that my husband built a few years ago. And so now I'm up to 30, 37, I think, different varieties of roses. I've got 2 that are ordered and en route. But it's become such a source of joy for me. I never thought, especially with that first experience, I never thought I would be able to be successful growing roses. Thank you for listening, and we'll see what we can do in the next one.